So we're going to end the day with a high. Definitely, we're going to be joined by two inspiring young leaders. We're going to have back-to-back fireside chat to talk about how the young generation sees customer interaction, how they want to be interacted with, and how themselves interact with their own customers. So they're going to bring fresh ideas, bold concept on how to interact with the young generation. So without further ado, to get the ball rolling, I would like to invite my first fireside chat victim, Daniela Carvalho. Come with me. So Daniela comes from somewhere completely different to telecom. She's a young entrepreneur and she's a Lash artist, and she has her own customer that she interacts with. So we're going to talk about all the things that she does to make sure that she interacts as best as possible with the young generation. Come closer to me. I like to have my victims close to me. They can't run away. So tell us a bit more about you.
My name is Daniela Carvalho. I am a Lash artist based in North London. I've been in the industry for about just over 9 years now. And I just love customer service. I love it. I have such a big passion for it. So a lot of the things that I do in my business is very customer based. Customer satisfaction is like my number one priority. So yeah, I'm just doing eyelash extensions. I do mentor people as well. So new lash artists that are newly qualified, I mentor them, kind of like help them get into the industry. As you guys can imagine, the beauty industry is just ever growing. So I like to just mentor kind of like the new babies on scene and just help them out.
So tell me more about unconventional methods you use to interact with your customers, different to traditional practice that we're used to seeing.
I think speaking for the beauty industry in particular, it's very like one client in, one client out situation. It's not very personable. You go like to a nail shop one day, you meet someone that, does your nails really well and you really like them. And then the next time you go, either they're not there or they don't remember you. And I feel like in beauty, that's not nice. So I like to create a very like personable approach with like my clients. Sorry, what else was it?
So what, untraditional ways you use to interact with your customers?
I just talk to them like I'm talking to a friend, obviously within reason. But I just like to, show them that I'm also a normal human being, a person. I mainly like to talk to my clients on WhatsApp. Yes, I talk to them mainly on WhatsApp, and also I use Instagram as well to talk to them and reach out to them. I would say like probably the only unconventional thing I do is I message my clients on WhatsApp, and businesses don't really do that anymore nowadays.
So you're a digital first entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So as you say, you interact in WhatsApp. Any other ways you interact with your customers more digitally?
Honestly, it's mainly just WhatsApp, word of mouth. I get a lot of my clients through word of mouth. So I would say the only kind of digital thing I do is posting on Instagram to kind of like get more clients coming my way. But it is really mainly just WhatsApp.
Okay. Any platforms you use apart from WhatsApp to interact with your customers?
I've tried the TikTok. I have tried it, but I also don't get it that much. I like to use it more for like a personal use, and I like to read the comment sections a lot. So there's times, that I might think, oh, what can I do in my business to kind of like make the industry better? So I think, what can I do? And then I look at the at the TikTok comments, and people just have all these problems that they're facing, either with their lash tech or just like with the service in general. So I kind of like go through the comments, and then through that, I kind of use the problems that they have to create a solution that I can fix in the business.
Okay. So today we're talking about omni-channel. You probably have no idea what it means, and you shouldn't either. But what it means is you interact with your customers on multiple channels. So WhatsApp, if that's what they wanted to use, messaging, no traditional SMS or emails or voice. So do you apply that at all with your customers, or you think your customer base is happy with WhatsApp?
To be honest, I think they are happy with WhatsApp because you kind of use WhatsApp on a day-to-day anyway. So it's not like you're going out of your way to talk to clients on a whole different platform and they have to like download new apps just to talk. I think WhatsApp just keeps it like generic. They know how to use it. They know how to put emojis on the chat. They know how to like add a contact straight through WhatsApp. So I think sometimes when you want to think outside the box too much, it just creates confusion. I've tried to use, for example, like Booksy before, to get clients and talk to my clients through there, but it didn't work. So sticking to WhatsApp, I have found that it's the best way to do it.
Okay. And what steps do you take? Let's say, let's pretend I'm a new customer. I'm young. I'm, not like now, but I used to be. And I come to you. What are the steps do you take to engage with me as a customer?
Okay, so it depends. If you come to me through Instagram, for example. So you're a new client, you've messaged me on Instagram, hey, I want to book an appointment or I have questions. Obviously, I'll answer your questions there, and then I will let you know, by the way, if you don't get a response from me here, you can message me on WhatsApp. Or I just kind of give them alternatives. Either message me on WhatsApp or you can just call me directly. So I like to just create accessibility for a lot of my clients.
Okay. And we often say that the young generation, they're looking for genuine connectivity, not so polished or business-like, but more genuine that reflects them. How important do you think this is? Is it true, number one, and how important do you think that is?
Oh, it's so true. I think a big part of why I value customer service so much in my business is because I have been the customer on the receiving end of bad customer service. So I think if you kind of just take what you have received from other people and try to make it better, that works really, really well in business.
Okay. And if we look into the future, let's say we look in Daniela's crystal ball, what do we see as a next trend in terms of customer engagement? What do you see on the street, the young people looking for?
Honestly, young people, we just want genuine honesty. If your product is only going to work 5 times, just tell us it's going to work 5 times. You don't need to lie and say it can work up to 6, up to 7, just say it's going to work 5 times. I do think we really appreciate the honesty that some companies, bring. So I feel like when you try to just lie about the services that you have, we don't want that. So a lot of the things that I do in my business, I don't think of it as, okay, this is my business as a business owner. What can I do to make this better? I think, okay, as a customer, I don't want someone talking to me like this. I wouldn't like it if someone had these kinds of terms and conditions. So how can I kind of twist that into a business owner perspective?
And what about, what is the most important thing do you think that companies should do to interact with their young people, the young generation, to be successful?
Read the comment sections, because a lot of people are speaking about their complaints and what they want changed in the comment sections. So I think if you just kind of stay in touch, you don't have to be Gen Z, you don't need to be the youngest person to kind of know the complaints that people have and the issues that they want solved. I think just put yourself in the place of a consumer, read the comment sections. You'll see, honestly, how can I say it? There's been a lot of times and trends in the industry, for example, speaking about eyelash extensions in particular, there are certain trends that I've noticed that I think, oh my gosh, I need to get on this trend as well. Everyone wants the really, really long lashes and they want them to be to just be super mega. And then I read the comment sections and people are like, no, I like my lashes very natural. I like them to not look like I'm flying away. I want them to be super subtle. And then that kind of helps me know that I'm going in the right direction. So I think even with a lot of businesses like makeup, jewelry, I read the comment sections, even of places that I want to shop at. So I see what's in the comment sections, what people are saying, and I think, oh my God, it'll be so good if this company had this, and just read the comments. 3,000 people have already said they don't like this color. Let's change it. So I think, just being more in touch with what people are saying is the way.
Any questions for Daniela? No? No one wants to make an appointment for new lashes? I know, I do. No? That's it? Oh, yeah, one question. Oh, do you want me to go? Yeah.
Really interesting. It seems so obvious, but we get into business and you forget about these basic things. But obviously, with your success, you're growing. And how are you sort of managing that personalization as you add more customers and you don't remember their favorite color and you don't remember the particular time of day? How are you managing all that complexity?
Funnily enough, when I see my clients, if you're my client and I see you and you tell me your birthday is next week, the next time I see you, it just automatically comes back. And I'm like, it was your birthday. How was it? But also, obviously, I'm not perfect. So I do have a booking system as well. It's called Acuity Scheduling. So my clients can book in on that system, and I also can write notes. So at the end of the appointment, I'm able to write, it was the birthday, they're going to a wedding next week. And then the next time you come, I kind of look at the notes and I say, oh, okay, this is what was going on. Let me mention that at the next appointment. I like to just have like a very personable approach in business. And I think remembering like the little things that your clients tell you is really important as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's interesting because you have a small business, but the big businesses is the same, but just bigger. It's caring about your customer, but because I know because I have a business as well. It's your business and it's your money. So you truly care. At the end of the day, if the money doesn't come in, you're hurt. So big companies, I think, have to act the same way.
Yeah.
Hi, Daniela. Thank you very much for that. It's Hugh Griffiths from MOA Squared. When you talked about WhatsApp, were you talking about text or voice messaging? Because I sense a lot of my kids, for example, use a lot of voice messages within WhatsApp rather than sending text.
I like text, just because I think even though it is WhatsApp and I do want to make it not as formal, I do still kind of need the proof of the messaging of what I'm telling my clients. If I tell them an appointment is at a certain time and they try to come back and say, you told me this time on voice message, it doesn't really give me much to kind of work with. So I do like to have the messaging proof of, what we've been talking about and what we've been saying, even if they said, oh, you told me last time that we could go longer with the length of my lashes. And I'm like, did I? So I kind of have to go back and I'm like, okay, do you know what? I did. You're right. I did say that. So it is mainly text. I don't really need the voice messaging feature for business.
But do you sense that the customers, in some senses, would like to send you voice messages rather than text, or do they just sort of fit in with with your methodology?
Some do. I don't personally reply in a voice message way. So they can send me voice messages, but then I reply via the messaging service.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, I really like your lashes. Sorry. Okay, so thank you very much, Daniela. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I think it's really insightful to see how, today we talked about the big companies, but all the small companies do great in interacting with their customers. Thank you so much. And the last victim of the day, the last but not least, is Shivani Sondhi. She's Portfolio and Event Manager at Vodafone. Welcome to my hot seat, Shivani.
Thank you.
Red, hot.
Am I close enough?
Yes, you are.
She always likes her victims to be close,
Yes,
she said.
I do. So Shivani has been my victim. This is the third time running, and she's an amazing young woman from Vodafone. So with her, what we're going to do is we're going to turn it around a little bit. We're going to talk about more how does a young generation want to be interacted with. So Shivani, tell us a bit more about you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me here today. A little bit about me. So, as you can see, I work for a Vodafone company. We are called Tomorrow Street. So we work with late-stage technology startups, although I'm not very techy, so please don't ask any tech questions. And very passionate about diversity and inclusion. So really excited to hopefully have some good conversations after this with all the different people that have come.
So Shivani, you're a digital-first type of young person. How does that impact the way you want to be interacted with, and how do you want to be interacted with?
I think there's I don't want to repeat everything that Daniela said, but I think there's a really important element of we want everything now. And I think I would say, so I'm a millennial, so I'm 29, so I'm not Gen Z. But I know Gen Z want everything as well at the touch of a button. And I think a lot of millennials as well, at least around my age, we want everything now. We're not very patient. We definitely want everything to be seamless. We want, if we WhatsApp a business, for example, we want a reply within an hour. We don't want to be waiting 2 days. So it's this idea that everything is on your phone now. And I mean, does anyone here do online shopping? Kind of a raise of hands. Online shopping. Do we like online shopping? Do we prefer going? Yes, got some yeses. Because it's easy. You can just sit on the sofa for 10 minutes and you've ordered 2 pairs of jeans, you've ordered your Tesco shop and a new pair of shoes for the wedding at the weekend. And it just makes everything so seamless.
I agree. So a lot of the young people say that they want to relate to companies that talk to them or interact with them. They want them to be socially responsible. They want them to have values that reflect their own values. How important is that, do you think, for the young generation? And what values are they looking for in a company?
So I think this is, at least for millennials and definitely for Gen Z, that generation as well, a lot of people now want brands that are, like you've said, they're ethically sourced. So is the cotton of my clothes, for example, ethically sourced? Is a supply chain something that I can value? Is it sustainable? And all of these things. And I think I'm noticing it more. However, you then do have a higher price point, of course. But we like to see these innovative ideas. We like to see new things. But I would caveat all of this with, I think it comes from a place of privilege as well. So we can sit in the room and probably talk about, okay, but I spent £80 on a white T-shirt because the cotton was ethically sourced. However, if, let's say, you've got 2 young kids, you're working extra shifts, you're not necessarily going to worry about ethical consumption. You're not going to worry about where the cotton in the T-shirt came from. So I think there's definitely a level of, if we're thinking about the values of the company, we already have that lower level of, I'm satisfying, I've got shelter, I'm able to pay my rent. So I think it depends on what stage in your life you're at, or, your different socioeconomic status as well.
Okay. And as a digital first, in the generation of digital first, the problem, I guess we almost all are in that boat, constantly connected. You're constantly connected, and there's a pressure to be constantly connected, looking at what your friends are saying, what they want to tell you, and where are they, and again, what companies are interacting with you as part of that. How do you think the companies trying to communicate with you should deal with that, to help and also to not add to the load?
So I think this also goes back to what Daniela was saying. You need to be, as a company, you need to be authentic, and you need to be honest, and you need to be real, because nothing gets past Gen Z. If you give them a phone, they will most likely be better than the FBI agent that is investigating something. So you have to be authentic and honest. And in terms of what, I'll actually ask a question to the audience. I'm going to be cheeky. So who has kids who are around 15 to 25? Yeah, we've got a couple. And what do you feel about their social media usage, their phones? Before I give you my answer, I'd be interested to hear what you guys think.
No, it's a great question to ask, because I've been speaking to people here about it. For instance, my daughter's use of Vinted, other people's daughters who uses Pretty Little Thing and stuff like that, but they're constantly on their iPhones, always. My daughter has my old one, my son bought a new one. They have to have everything that's new, but they're also very savvy. But to your point you just said about the FBI, that made me laugh. You're 100% right. I could use a particular word about them in terms of the way they approach you. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think they're so savvy, they're so switched on. They will, they don't just buy for themselves though, and they don't just buy ethically. They'll flip it as well. they'll buy another pair of jeans, and actually they're not going to wear them. They're just going to sell them back again and put another fiver on them. It just makes them more and more money. They are so entrepreneurial, so switched on. But yeah, it's all about the messaging. They are very, very aware of everything that they're doing.
I think that there's also the element of, because social media, it's wonderful, right? It's transformed the world. But then there's also this, the dangerous element when you have kids, you know, using it, buying all these different products, and kind of like the brainwashing that comes with it when it's almost like buying things that you don't necessarily need. So it's got that flip side as well, which I think is difficult when you have teenagers and, you know, if we're referring to youth, people kind of under the age of 30, it can be really difficult because it's very overwhelming. There's so much out there. It's where do I even start to buy an air fryer because there's 70 million on the market and I don't know all these different things. So yeah, it's got its caveats, but yeah, I do think Gen Z are going to save the world one day.
Okay, we've heard it first here. Any other question before I go to my next question? No? So what is the one thing that companies do that annoys you the most when they interact with you as a customer? What is the one thing you would like to get rid of?
I really don't like mass emails. And does anyone else, when you get 20 emails a day from, I don't know, Tesco telling you that apples are on sale, anyone not like mass emails? Because maybe that's just a me thing, but yeah, definitely don't like.
Overload.
Overload of emails, overload. Because there's just so much information nowadays that when you get so many emails, and I think it's a bit saturated.
So overload of information that is not tailored to your requirements or your needs, personal needs.
And you talked about personalization. It's difficult, I think, when you become a big conglomerate. But personalization is what people like. So, for example, if I go onto Amazon tonight, Amazon will know what I want before I know I want it, or even before I need it. And I think this is probably where the future is going, of companies knowing what we need and what we want before we even know we need it or want it.
Yeah, that's quite scary. So you're talking about the future. So if I look in your crystal ball and I look at the way that companies interact with the young generation, what do I see? What are the trends coming up, do you think?
What I think would be really cool for those that do online shopping for clothes, I think what I would really like to be able to do is see it on me online. I think some places are starting to do that, or kind of mirrors and changing rooms where you can do these things. But I think it's about how can you give people the real life experience while they're sitting on their couch, which is also then it means people don't go into the real world. But I think as we move towards this, you know, everything on your phone, you also need to give people the services that they expect to have in store on their phone.
And Daniela talked about the fact that she used WhatsApp a lot, mostly only WhatsApp. You're a millennial. How do you want to be interacted with? So you said you don't like emails that keep pushing. Is it WhatsApp as well? What's your preferred way of being interacted with?
I think it would depend on if it's a brand or if it's work, because I get a lot of, and I don't know, I'm sorry if anyone in the room does this, but I've often received from managers and managers' emails that say urgent, must be read now. But the thing is, if I'm on the go, if I'm going to get my lashes done, for example, during my lunch break, I'm on my phone. And so I always say, if you want something now, call me, WhatsApp me, text me, whatever medium it is, but don't email me, because as a young millennial, I'm not going to be responsive on my email. I will respond to your WhatsApp in 1 minute, however, because my phone is always on me. So I think that's a personal to me thing.
Okay. Any questions before I go to my last question? Yes?
Just to push that question a little bit further, because we're all here, really, we're promoting if you like, technology that is sent on WhatsApp. So if the example is, we send you a promotion on WhatsApp or on SMS. How do you feel about receiving something like that?
Who is it coming? What is the SMS saying? Is it asking me to do something?
I don't know who you shop with, but let's say it's John Lewis, and you may have purchased something for your parents from there, probably. So if you receive a voucher, sorry, that's it.
John Lewis.
I didn't mean to sound patronising, honestly. So if you receive a voucher of some description or an offer from John Lewis, as the example, how would you want to receive that?
So if the offer is for example, a hair product that I would use, as you know, in my hair, then great. I'm really glad you've sent me a text. But if you've sent me a text for a new sofa or dining table when I don't own a house, it's pretty irrelevant. So I think it depends what you're sending, like what the content is.
So it needs to be personalised. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're happy with that, though?
If it's based on my habits, then yes, more than happy to receive it as a text, WhatsApp. But if it's irrelevant information, then it's just spam, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Just to pick up on that point, though, because you just used John Lewis as... Yeah, just to use that as, from the John Lewis perspective, the interesting thing is, I think what it also demonstrates, though, is the power of digital media and also all the different media channels, because actually, if the latest John Lewis Christmas advert, if you read all the industry, so it is the most successful customer engagement at TV Christmas advert in 10 years. And that just shows how you can use TV still well enough to actually drive people into your stores, and how retail stores still have a future coexisting with all their other channels. So
to clarify, I love John Lewis and I do shop there alone, not just with my parents. I have my, my membership card and everything. But yes, so interestingly, I don't actually watch the John Lewis adverts on TV because I don't have TV. I watch them on my phone. I watch them on YouTube, because I don't actually have a TV. I just have a smart TV with Netflix. So.
Okay, I feel very old now. But I agree with you. I think the email thing, it reminds me, I'm going on a cruise soon. And I want to be communicated with for my cruise. But this company keeps sending me emails about other cruises. And I can't switch them off. I can't unsubscribe, because if I unsubscribe to all their emails, I'm going to miss the emails coming from my own cruise. But they're starting to really piss me off. So, but it's true, even if it's personalized, but it's not personalized enough. They should say, okay, she's going on a cruise in a few weeks. Let's leave her be. We're going to just communicate about that cruise. After, we're going to communicate about, but I don't think the companies are there yet.
Well, technology, I mean, we've been speaking about technology today, and technology should be, AI can create robots, it can tell you what route to do on your holiday and all these things. So I find it hard to believe that companies can't use, all these AI tools to be able to do it.
Okay, so I see that the time is running off. So the final question is, what is the one thing that companies should do to succeed with interacting with the young generation? If you could do one thing, the most important thing, do you think? We said personalization, which I think is quite important, but anything else?
Be authentic. Be authentic, be real, be honest, or we will tell all of our friends not to buy our product.
So so that's a high for the day. We finish on no BS. Sounds just about right. So thank you so much, Shivani. Again, the third time. Thank you so much.